Islamic Dad here. Hopefully you watched the previous video on flying monkeys. So I'll dive into kind of the larger context when dealing with narcissists and where they kind of may come into the picture. So with a narcissist, very often, maybe all the time, or at least, in my personal experience, it happened, both times that I dealt with a narcissist. You will go through the relationship, and again, you'll, have the fog build up, and you'll be in the middle of in the fog at the end, not quite sure what's going on. And then the relationship will end. And depending on how it ends, there will be a smear campaign. Because the narcissist, both the malignant and the covert narcissist, are basically, existing as these people who have incredibly low self-esteem. They see themselves as completely inadequate, and that's why they've built or created the mask of this alter ego, to kind of protect themselves. And the thing is that because they're so insecure and inadequate, deep down, and that's their core that drives them. They view the end of the relationship as a direct attack upon them. So regardless of the reasons, they will want revenge. In the same way that if you were to ever bring up a concern to a narcissist, they would see that as a criticism, again, like a personal attack, and then, fight you on it. It's the same thing with a relationship. The only time that that would not happen, and this hasn't been my experience, but my understanding is that if you have a situation where the narcissist has a overlapping relationship, or what's sometimes called monkey branching, where they will be in the relationship with you, and they'll already have your replacement waiting, just so they're just building that relationship with your replacement. And then if they reach a point where they have devalued you to the point where they can discard you and just not even really look back, at that point, then they move on to your replacement like that. They, in that instance, their ego is still safe. And so they won't have the same need for revenge and smear campaign. Whereas in both of my cases, I push things to that point where the relationship ended. It was not something that the other person had planned out at all. And so, part of that smear campaign is the use of flying monkeys. So you'll have flying monkeys basically working to gather information on you, basically spy, cyber stalk, gather information, use whatever phrase you'd like. And then also the narcissist goes, does their typical duplicitous trick, and again, it's very strange. So they will paint themselves as the victim, regardless of how the relationship ended. They will paint themselves as a victim, and one of the tricks to do that is to, of course, flip the script. And so very often the narcissist will call you a narcissist or label you a narcissist and tell everyone that will listen that they're the victim and that you are the narcissist. It's just like, again, it's like all the narcissists are reading from the same script. It's kind of silly, but also sad because you have to experience this in real life. So they will paint themselves as the victim while slandering you, and and they'll use different approaches to that. So at times they might just come out swinging, not directly to you, but to their flying monkeys and other people that they can triangulate, and they will say, okay, this person's evil, this person did this, this person, and most of it's going to be flat out lies, and the other half are going to be half truths, and they will just say these things very directly, depending on the audience, because they obviously want the message to be heard and disseminated. If they don't feel that they can disseminate the message to the flying monkey or the other person in that manner, they will use a different approach, and they will say, oh my God, I'm a victim, and I know that this person is going through a lot of things in their life, and they started a new job, and they just moved, and they their relative recently died, and they're going through a lot, but they did XYZ horrible thing, and so they'll kind of want to paint it like they're telling you this, but they feel sympathy, like don't tell anybody, but and then they want you to go and tell everybody. So and again, with narcissism, you'll often, during the smear campaign, you'll often hear the term triangulation. That is where the narcissist will get a third party to come in and basically abuse by proxy is one definition. So whereas flying monkey is, in my personal experience, more used by the narcissist to spy, disseminate information. The people that are triangulated, they will come right up to you and say, I can't believe you did that, and just repeat the lie that the narcissist told them, like, I can't believe you cheated on them, I can't believe you embezzled all that money from the company, and expected to get away with it, and you feel no remorse, and just just repeat these lies straight on, and if possible cause damage. So through triangulation, they will do these things directly to you, but again, they'll also do them to your friend group, your social circle. If it's a work setting, they will spread that lie at work, to do the damage. And so that's just another part of the smear campaign. And one thing that personally that I've seen and really had to scratch my head at is the level of effort that the narcissist puts into the smear campaign. It's kind of hilarious to me, because I'm just like, get over it, go find a hobby, like take up knitting or collecting Pokemon cards or something. But it was like, do you have nothing better to do? But again, because maybe I'll do a video on this at some point. But the narcissists have the emotional maturity of a toddler. That is why they act so strangely sometimes and have these like really drastic emotional responses to things. And so with the end of a relationship that it was not controlled by them, they feel horribly hurt. um, and out of that, out of their insecurity and inadequacy, um, they are the angriest toddler you've ever seen, and they are out to get you because they are just driven by that pain. And whereas I guess normal people would probably you know process the pain and I don't know, deal with it and find something to do, or go to therapy, or talk to their buddies at the bar or something. um, I'm assuming that the narcissist has kind of painted themselves into a corner because they already think that they're perfect, and that's kind of the persona that they portray to other people. And so there's no growth with a narcissist. There's no um, analyzing or self-reflection or anything like that with narcissists. So I'm assuming that like when they are hurt, like say at the end of a relationship that they did not initiate or control, that that pain doesn't go anywhere. Again, this part is all speculation. I do not know. I don't have a view into the mind of narcissists or the narcissists that I've dealt with directly. Some things I'm very sure of, as far as like the motivations for continuing the revenge as this long. I don't know. I mean, I know that with my ex-girlfriend, it's been a little over a month now, and it's just sorry, it's just kind of silly. My ex-wife was a malignant narcissist, and she carried that on for 2 years. It was again just bizarre, where she had built up a that the next chapter of her life after the divorce, away from me, and she had her job, her friends, and stuff like that. And even after 2 years, she would reach out or try to do things just out of spite, just out of evil spite. And so yeah, narcissists do not think like normal people. Again, this is just another example of that. So I'll probably continue to do another video kind of along the lines of the end of the relationship with the narcissist. But I wanted to touch on this one because the the smear campaign, character assassination, using monkeys, abuse by proxy, triangulation, all of that is very, very common with the end of a relationship with a narcissist. Hopefully this has been helpful to you.